Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Dave. This is LoFiTrader. If you are just now joining us and you're just starting to watch us, realize that you are watching a live stream. Okay? You're on a live stream. We're doing live commentary, live analysis, and live trades right here in front of you today. We cover everything from small caps, mid caps, to long-term investing. So if that's something you like, hit that subscribe, baby, because we are here every single day, Monday through Friday, 8 until 12. Now let's jump right into this, guys. Good morning. It's nice to see lots of y'all filling up that chat first thing this morning. I almost feel like, hey, what I need to do is catch up on this. Goodness. Let's make that. I see lots of money, lots of dollar signs. 12-year-old, yeah, 12-year-old in the smoke breaks. Goodness gracious. What's up, squad? It's good to see you guys. Good morning. Good morning, Mary. Good morning, Mama. Mama! Love it when Mama's in here. We got a lot to look at, guys. We do. We really have a ton to look at. NVOS, UNCY, VRAX. Yes, we have a ton. Let me actually put those. I got TRKA, UNCY on the top of this list. What I do to alleviate some of the stress is I just use a relative volatility index over here on the left-hand side on the small caps, so that way the highest volatility being traded is going to be at the top here on our watch list. So just keep in mind, if you see this watch list on the left-hand side, whatever's at the top is what's trading the most right now. So there was one, I don't think I have NVOS or VRAX, so we'll put that on the ear right here. NVOS and VRAX we'll also throw on that. And it looks like, where are they popping off here? And this is just a little extra, the volatility index. So anyway, guys, good morning. I gotta get some coffee. Of course, how convenient, you know? It's a beautiful thing. You love to hear it, you love to see it, you love to drink it. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Man, it is great to start my morning off with you guys. Awesome, awesome, awesome. So yeah, dumped my TRKA this morning. Amiri's out of TRKA. All right, that's great. That's good to hear, because it sounds like you know, you took profit while it was coming up. You got some out, or you got it all out in this case. And now it looks like it's doing its pullback, because stocks don't go straight up, right, guys? But while we're here, we might as well look at TRKA, right? Let's take a look at it, guys. Let's just take a look at it, shall we? So if we look at TRKA, I drew this area of resistance out for you, and I just pulled it off of the daily right here. And we'll put this on the 5 minutes, so it's a little bit more exciting. But I drew this this liquidity line that I pulled way out from here. You can tell there's a lot of people in this area. So I pulled it out and I said, if this thing blows through here, goodness, we might see the squeeze. Now, I don't know if the squeeze has already gotten squozen, or if we still have a short interest on this. The only thing I can do, TRKA, go ahead, put it in the short squeeze data tracker. We're at 36.28% is what it's still saying. So if this is true, if the data that the short interest stock right here, bada bing, bada boom, for absolutely free on shortsqueeze.com is giving us the data, then we still have squeezes that need to be squozen, okay? So excuse my language, gentlemen, but we need to squeeze these guys out, okay? So, these aren't buy or sell recommendations. I'm just, I'm your commentary. I'm your commentator, your average tater tot, if you will, here in front of you with a big old chin, just trying to get you excited for these awesome stocks. So TRKA is just one of the many stocks that we need to look at. But first, as you know, what I love to do is to go over the indices first. So what I'm going to do on the right-hand side, and we'll leave our beautiful TRKA over here on the left-hand side up, we are going to run through the indices. But of course, I need to make sure I'm caught up on chat. So we're going to throw the SPY up here on the right-hand side. We're going to keep this on the hourly so we don't get too overwhelmed with the little mini ticks before pre-market open. Guys, it's 8 o'clock. We started a little early today because we had the whole squad already up in the chat. So let's just take a quick second and look through this really quick. So I love that we got 12 years and fat going on his smoke breaks already. So we'll see. Oh my gosh, Fat's got his phone under the desk. He's already on that pre-market, getting his fix. Let's see. Let's make that money, right, B. Stewie? Yeah. an amazing green day, and I wish you all good luck, Amiri says. So that's awesome. Thank you so much. That's what we need in here. Nothing but positivity, baby. There's a lot of negativity out there, and, you know, I scour through Facebook because I'm searching for more people to reach out to. I search YouTube. I scour it all. You know, that's what you have to do as networking in order to create an amazing community. But while you're out there, you step in a lot of dog crap, guys. There's a lot of bad stuff out there, a lot of scams when it comes to these. A lot of scammers that are out there that are doing basically the same thing I am. I'm reaching out to people and I'm trying to bring them in. But the issue is nobody wants to trust you because there's so many scammers out there. So please be careful. Be careful. I'm very transparent here. You know, I show you what I make and what I don't make every month. I take all my trades right here in front of you. I do take trades outside the stream. Obviously, I'm a trader. I'm not going to stop trading just because stream's over. But, guys, you need to be careful out there. So be careful when you're looking around out there. So let's see. What's everyone's plays today? You know, that's what we're here for. We're going to go through these indices. We're going to get that all figured out. Let's see. Green 42. Nice. Dump TRKA. We got through that. We got hearts. Yes, let's get that bread, baby. Morning, Captain. Time to get that money so we can ready for Mexico trip. Heck yeah, that's what I like to hear. Mexico sounds really, really warm. And speaking of warm, this morning was a bit nipply outside, but if I look outside right now at the beautiful 100 acres behind me, it looks absolutely amazing. It's an absolutely blessed day to be alive, and I'm just so happy to be here in front of you. We already got 14 of you in here already. Goodness gracious, good morning. Guys, what we need to do is we need to get through these indices before we get too excited. There's a lot of cordial ships. What you want to know, throw it in the chat. We'll go through it a little bit later, but I need to get through the indices so we can, because if you guys start asking like, what's going on? What's going on? I have no idea. I'm blind right now. I haven't went through the charts. So on the top right-hand side, we're going to go through the indices. On the left-hand side, we got TRKA. We also are going to be looking at JSPR, Caesar, so you just wait on a second. We are actually talking about JSPR for the past 3 weeks. I tried to take a breakout in it, but yada yada, we'll go over that. Richard's here. Good morning. We're going to go over all that in just a minute. But first, ladies and gentlemen, cheers to you, and then we're going to go through the indices. We'll go through my trades, and then we'll go back to chat, and we'll hit up anything that we need to. Okay, so on the top right-hand side, we have the SPY. The SPY, the S&P 500. Now, guys, look at this liquidity line that I drew up for you. Well, it was on here yesterday, but I think I drew it on Friday or Friday night. And you could see, I drew this whole thing out, and I kept telling you in the morning, I kept saying, I'm expecting a pullback, expecting a pullback, expecting a pullback. Well, we got this push into the liquidity in the pre-market. We got that pullback, but then we had this amazing rally to the north side. And I kept saying, I'm still expecting a pullback. I'm still expecting a pullback. And of course, when do we get that pullback? The second stream is over. It gives its final push and has this amazing pullback. Now, this looks like it's digesting this pullback really well here. We're getting a bounce in pre-market. Now, I don't care for pre-market so much. I think it does have its obvious pros and its cons. But when it comes to actually seeing the chart for what it is, I want to give this thing another day. I really want this thing to digest. Now, we could play these lows, we could play these highs for a day trade, but when it comes to actually understanding how this rally, how this 2-day amazing, well, 3-day rally really gets digested is really what we're waiting to see here. Okay, so we'll fiddle around with the small caps, we'll look at through all the small caps, but once we get through the indices, then we'll have a better idea of the general market, right, guys? And that's what we need to do. We need to always have our thumb on that pulse on the general market to have a better understanding of where it's headed. So IWM still well above that 200-day moving average. It had a bigger pullback yesterday than the SPY did. So we had a major pullback in the IWM, the Russell 2000, yesterday, which was very interesting, guys. It was a much larger pullback as to where in SPY you got the push up and the pullback, where in the Russell, the 2000, you had a straight pullback. Now, that is A-okay because the overall Russell is doing much better than the SPY overall. Netflix, we seen that push, and I told you guys in the morning, I said, man, I'd really like to buy this to see this thing push up. Well, I have to be very, very honest with you. I did not take this trade, and you guys know because I didn't want to take pre-market. I didn't want to getting all excited too early in the morning. We always want to revert back to that mean. Well, sure enough, we traded sideways. we pushed up higher, and then this right here, right when we got into this area of liquidity, we could even pull this out just so we have an idea next time I bring this up. But we bring this down here and we'll pull this out, and you can see it ran into that same liquidity that we've seen across the board, right? And it pulled back very hard. It pulled back like the IWM did, only the IWM right at the open crash rather than this pushed in pre-market and then pulled back to its low. So we want to see now, Netflix try and regain this in pre-market and hold sideways. But we'll see. We talked about this in Netflix before. It can come all the way back down to this trend line, and it's well above a curling up 200-day moving average. So Netflix is due for a pullback anyway. This pullback still looks constructive to me, and I like it. So let's go to Microsoft. Good old softy, Microsoft. Above its 200-day moving average. So that is good news, guys. That's good news. That's what you like to see. You want to see these bigger tech stocks hold and stay above those 200-day moving average for the overall breadth of the market to carry on higher. But then we take a look at this pooper scooper stock of Amazon. Now, we have this V-shaped bottom, and I keep bringing up this V-shaped bottom because I've heard it time and time again. And now you want to see this, right? You want to see a V-shaped bottom. That's good. It's a sign that we flushed out the rest of them, and it's reclaiming and it's trying to hold, right? We get these V bottoms, and then we get these pushes higher, right? V bottoms. Well, this looks like a V bottom. Okay. Now we could break down just like this. Okay. History it doesn't always repeat itself in the stock market, but when we get this V bottom here, okay, and a push higher. Well, we got a quick sell-off on that. So it needs to hold this same area, this same supply that we've been watching from last week, okay? So here it is. There's your supply. It's playing in the supply, and you guys know I like 15-minute wick offer sims. Well, look at this bottom on the Amazon getting soaked up by its supply in the pre-market. So that's a good sign for Amazon. Next up, we got delicious and delectable Meta. So Meta, I actually was trying to short this thing yesterday. And as you know, we drew out this supply for you a couple weeks ago. Actually, we know this 185 was really, really strong. And I tried to take a short at this 185 and it just chopped me up. It didn't chop me up. It stopped me out. Put it that way. It stopped me out and I accepted the loss. Then of course, we come back to this later in the day and it pulls, all the way back down here. And, I could have made a lot of money if I would have just held on, but trust me, I've been burned plenty times by holding on to trades for the long run. So I got stopped out of that. That's A-okay, no big deal. But now Meta trading up in that supply area again. If this thing can hold up here for a little bit, it's going to look very, very strong for Meta. And overall, Meta has looked extremely strong. Holding that gap that I anticipated. If we broke this area, I anticipated the gap being filled, but we never got that gap fill on Meta. We traded sideways, and because we traded sideways for so long, I told you guys, be careful if you're short in this thing because we might get a squirt up higher. Now, this is beautiful. I didn't expect all of this, guys. Look at this, trading right up into that supply zone. Now, this looks to me like an area for a short, but at the same time, if it can stay up there, trade sideways, hold its ground, then it might look like a beautiful long to the north side. But for right now, it's going to need time, or this is going to look like a short into its demand, into its supply, excuse me. NVIDIA. So NVIDIA, and I'm saying it like that very specifically because I'm trying to remember the right way to say it. NVIDIA is trading right at that liquidity area after its gap up. If you guys remember, we were here. We tried to play this gap up and we ended up stopping out. Remember that? Well, it has this nice V-shaped bottom and now it reclaimed its earnings gap up and now is trading sideways and above it. So I actually like this area. So if the market wants to get some legs, again, I might want to take this NVIDIA for another trade. Maybe earning back some of that small loss that I took because I was anticipating this thing to be the leader in the market even if we had a pullback. And I was wrong. Well, we'll look at some of the trades that I was right on real soon here because I've said I was wrong too many times. We got two more to go over. We'll go over my trades and then we'll check out the chat, guys. So stick around. We have an amazing show for you today. Now, guys, why was I not playing this 200 breakout? Because we've seen it, and I talked about this 200 psychological level. That's why we have all this crap drawn all over it, because I like to play it when it pushes up through, and I like to short it when it comes down through, right? But here's the thing, guys. we seen every time this pushed up through, it got weaker and weaker, and I pointed that out. So when we got down to here, I was not expecting this thing to hold. It broke on through, and now it's using that 200 as resistance. Now I want to see it test a couple more times. If this thing can test and show me it's not going to fail, create new higher lows at this area, well, then we might have an amazing trade for Tesla. But right now, Tesla just needs a little bit more time in this area. And, you know, it's got to prove itself. It's got to prove itself here. It's under its 200-day moving average, but it is following a 30-day moving average. So if that supports it and it wants to keep pushing it higher, that's fine with me. That is absolutely fine with me. All right, couple more. We got Apple. Goodness gracious, look at Apple. So Apple is looking very strong in this market right now. Very, very strong. Even though it had a big pullback yesterday, you got to see, guys, this is like reclaiming this whole area. So if it can just stay above this 152, that is going to look extremely strong for Apple. So I'm still expecting a pullback, guys. I really am, especially because, listen, Jerome Powell, he is going to start yip-yapping about 10 o'clock. Okay, he's going to start talking about 10 o'clock, and you know, there's some subtle things that are going to be in there that if he says and he comes out and he sounds really hawkish, meaning he hawkish, how I remember it is like a hawk, those beady eyes, they're looking down on you, they look like they're going to attack. If he sounds like he's acting like he's being hawkish, like mean in a sense, like the economy, we need to raise height, we need to, you know, yeah, if he sounds hawkish, if he gives that vibe off, the psychology is going to play right into the market. It doesn't even matter what he says. It's how he says it sometimes, okay, guys? So we're going to watch out for that. So at 10 o'clock, it's going to be very volatile. We're expecting a very volatile day today, especially in options. I know some of you guys are options traders. Today's supposed to be a very volatile day. So just be very, very careful in the market, guys. We're going to see some shifts. We're going to see some changes. And sometimes, you know, you'll see these crazy movements, but then boom, we end up right back where we started. So either way, whatever happens, just don't get chopped up out there. Be very, very careful with what you're taking. But remember, those small cap stocks, they don't move with the rest of the market. They got to mind their own, so you got to worry so much about that. So let's go on to Google, and then we will go to my trades. And then we'll check up on chat. So, Google. Now, I got to be a fanboy for Google because Google was the only thing that finally made it down quick enough to its supply. And I used it as my rallito, as Charlie would say. But we build up on this bottom, we push up higher, now we're in the supply, right? Well, that is a beautiful thing as long as it can hold. So we're seeing it across the board, guys. We're seeing this great supply right back into a demand area with Apple, with Google, with Microsoft, with NVIDIA, Tesla. I mean, every one of these are doing the exact same thing. So we need to see the exact same thing in order for this thing to work out for us, okay? So let me go over my trades, guys, then we're gonna go check the chat. We're gonna see what's going on with you guys, because you know I love the chat. That's why I'm here, guys. I'm here for you, and I really appreciate your time. So let me go ahead and run through my trades. So we got the SPY. I always look at the SPY before I go through my trades. It's still trading sideways at 405.02. XM. Now, you guys remember XM. When I got an XM about 3 days ago, this is supposed to be the cup and the handle play, and I'm not closing out until it's under the 10-day moving average. Now, yesterday morning, we had a humongous liquidity push right here in pre-market. And goodness, this thing sold off quick. We went from being up a cup of coffee to up over $100 to right back down to being only up 50 bucks, you know, 25 bucks, something like that. I can't remember. But I talked to you guys after morning open and it slowly fizzled out. I said, well, what's going to hurt me more? This thing end up being a loss after this huge liquidity push, or this thing rallying all the way up with me only half share size. So what I did is I took half out. Why did I take half out? Well, if you guys know me, you know I like money. I like to extrapolate a little bit of cash so that way I can bring my stop up to break even. So that way, if I do break out for stop even, I've at least taken some money out of this trade. So what would eventually be a loser trader, I have learned from, and now we extrapolate that money. So XM, I think we already got half of this out, so we made like 10 bucks on it. We're up another 7 bucks. Okay, nothing crazy, nothing crazy. CLMT, if you guys remember, I only got a few shares in this because we're waiting for this pullback. We want to see how this digests, and if this thing wants to hold this area. If this wants to like flush out really quick to hit that 30, that's where I'm going to buy up. But I really would like to see this play out like a good cup and handle. Now, we do have earnings that are coming up on the 15th. If I have to hold through the 15th and then see what happens, that's fine, because I only have like literally a share in this, guys. 1 share in this. And I did that for a reason. So I can keep an eye on it because I'm very easily distracted. I can keep an eye on it, one, and I'm not going to lose a lot of skin in the game. It's costing me 50 cents right now to keep an eye on this rather than just go all in on one stinking trade, right? So next up, I'm in Roblox. Now, I took a short on Roblox. So what this was the game plan. If we look at the daily at the bottom right hand here, this is called a Wyckoff, or I call it the Wyckoff trade, okay? This was just shown to me by my buddy Mikey, so I'm just taking small share size, but we're back testing these strategies. I'm seeing them across the board. I'm seeing them all over. The easier I can make trading, the better off I'm going to be profitability and regurgitating the information, right? So I've heard many times on a lot of chat with traders and a lot of interviews that if you can explain your theory, your thesis to a child, then that is a good strategy. You should be able to explain it to somebody easily. It shouldn't be all these weird this and that and the other thing. It should be something very simple, very disciplined, and very easy to follow. Well, this to me is easy to follow. This is a head and shoulders pattern. Here's the shoulder, here's the head, and here's the shoulder. I got in short. Now I got in short somewhere in this area. It stopped me out, but once I seen it clear this and start to fold over, that's when I started getting into the play again, okay? So I didn't just fold my hands because it didn't look picture perfect. I got back into this trade, and I made some money already. I've already cashed out about $35 of this trade, but we still have about another $15 on this. So right now, this trade we've made about $40 on, but the trade's not over, guys. My expectancy for this, I'd like to see it pull back to this 200 at least, but I don't believe in Roblox. I think it can flush even further. So I'm going to hold on to this. That's the game plan. We're going to see what comes of it. CRUS. Now, I only have 4 shares of this. If it hits that 101, that's going to stop me out for a $15 loss, but I'm in where the green line is, and I'm just holding out the small share size so we can see what happens on this beautiful 21-day moving average trade. So if you guys know, I like to see a big push high, a pullback, and then it follow that 21-day moving average. Well, it's still around that, and it's still holding the 10, so I'm giving this a little bit more time. But the original play is supposed to be it is this 100. So we're gonna keep an eye on what happens here, and then if it comes down and breaks me out, then I'm a see you later. I'm out of here. ALGM. Now I really like ALGM. I really wanted to get into this back here when it squatted down on its highs because it's making a cup and handle. So I really wanted to get into this thing. Really did on stream too. And I said, oh man, I really gotta have this. Really gonna have ALGM, but I said, okay, I need to calm down. I've got 6 trades out, I think yesterday, 7 trades, and I'm glad I did. I only grabbed 5 shares of this thing. It's costing me $5 to hold it right now to see what happens, but I really want to watch ALGM. So ALGM, CRUS, those are some that are on my main watches. So guys, it's only 8:21, so we still have an hour. No big deal. Let's get ready for the party. Let's catch up on chat, and then we will go over what I'm watching for the day. So, all right. So I think we are where Caesar was. So Caesar says JSPR. So we did have JSPR. I have traded JSPR, and let's just go back to JSPR where I started trading it. So I have a better understanding of what JSPR did to me. Show me on the doll what JSPR did to you. So if we look at JSPR here, it's trading sideways, which you guys know I love sideways action, because if we can get a sideways action, then we have risk management, okay? We have a low, we have a high. Okay, so if you're looking at JSPR, the first thing I like to look at is how fast is this penny stock moving? Well, it's moving an average of 8.6% daily, okay? Average of 8.6%. If it's moving that fast, we have to be careful with our risk management, okay? 8.6% can really move, guys. So if we look at this thing, I actually traded this way back here on this breakout. So it broke out of this channel right here, and I got in it, and we held on to it for 3 days, and I think we actually ended up breaking out for break even, because after that 3 days, I wasn't trusting it. And I seen it break out multiple times after that. Now, I wasn't trusting the thing, okay? Now we're at a key point. We're at a key point, and I'll show you where this key point is. We'll just draw a line right here at these highs, all right? Now look at this. Look where JSPR sits, right at these highs. Now, these aren't buy or sell recommendations, guys. I'm just the man in front of the camera with a big old chin that's trying to extrapolate a little money from the market, okay? So these are your ideas. These are my ideas, not yours. But the way this thing is curling up, and it has touched this $2 area over and over and over again, JSPR is definitely, we are definitely on the watch for a breakout in JSPR, okay? Now, if we look up JSPR on the short squeeze, I am assuming that we don't have, so there's only 2.8% short. So there's not a short interest on this thing. So we're not talking squeezer, okay? We're talking about a stock that moves 8.6%. But also, we need to look at JSPR to understand how fast this thing moves. This is a 90 million share stock, okay? Or 90 million float stock, okay? So keep that in mind, that this thing can still move. It's a quick mover, but it's also a therapeutic stock. Okay, which always has its risk right there. If it's a therapeutic stock, it always has its risk. So, thank you for bringing up JSPR, because Caesar, that is a good one, and it's definitely on the watch list, and it's the third on my relative volatility index, meaning it is moving faster and with more shares than it usually does. So TRKA is trading at 88 cents right now. So let me see if I can catch up. Good morning. Sold enough to get my initial cost with TRKA. Looks like this may squeeze for a few days into next week with earnings approaching. Your thoughts? Thanks. Richard P, what's going on? What's going on, guys? Holy goodness gracious. We got a lot of you in chat. I hope I can keep up. All right, Richard. So if you're looking at TRKA, guys, I love TRKA. I absolutely love this stock. I have loved watching the stock from the very beginning. So we need to go over from the very beginning what we were watching with this stock. Now, we knew that it had short squeeze interest here. We knew it had short squeeze interest back there. But where do we think we found the best entry? You guys were all here with me when we looked at this 50-cent area in the morning last week, okay? You guys were here, was it last week? No, that was Monday morning, right? Monday morning, so yesterday, no, 2 days ago. Goodness, I am lost, guys. Watch out now. Today's Tuesday, right? Woo-wee. So we were looking at it here, okay? And when this came up and we were looking at this 50-cent area, not just me, multiple people popped into the chat and they said, hey, that 50-cent area looks really good for a risk. And that is what we want on the stream. We want to understand and know, where is our risk. We need to know exactly how much we are going to lose before we lose it. Okay, so that way we can learn from any losers that we have. If you don't have risk, how are you supposed to learn from it? If you don't have a line drawn in the sand, how are you supposed to learn from it? So we had people popping in the chat and they said, look at that TRKA. That is a beautiful trade. 50 cents my risk. What do you think? And I couldn't agree more. So I drew the line in the sand for you right there, ladies and gentlemen. You got to love it. If you don't love it, I mean, I'm getting goosebumps right now. I'm serious. I love charting. I absolutely love it. I have a passion for it, and I'm here every single day, Monday through Friday, 8 until 12. So if TRKA gets you excited, and it gets me excited, why haven't you hit that subscription button yet? It's as simple as that. You can see me every single day, Monday through Friday. I give you live commentary, analysis, and you guessed it, live trades. I put it all here on the line for you, and I'm as transparent as I possibly can be, because trading is hard, and there's a lot of fake gurus out there that are feeding you guys some bull crap, and I don't like that at all. So I'm here to be your voice, and I'm here to be your trader. So please hit that subscribe button, guys. Let's keep on keeping on. So TRKA, 50-cent area. Did I take the trade? I did not take the trade. I was in too many other trades, but I will constantly be keeping an eye on this. And if we see it shape up again, I might have to take a little something. But we have to keep in mind, this is extremely extended. But If the squeezers haven't been squozed, then watch out. This thing is a juice box, baby. A juice box. This thing can easily head a lot higher. But don't get too excited. We have to understand that this is a very, very skeptical stock. So let's keep on keeping on. Goodness, I don't know if I'm going to really be able to keep up with the chat today. You guys are awesome. You're making me extremely happy to be here right now. So El Grande Smokio! Yo, TRKA bought me a steak dinner yesterday. Good morning, USA. Good morning, El Grande Smokio.